Hey, all birds and bat here. So today I'm doing a Mailday recap from the first monthly PWCC auction since they got kicked off eBay. Yeah, I know a lot of people in the hobby do not like PWCC, and I certainly have my apprehensions with them too. But I'm a collector, and when they have cards that I want, I'll still turn to them because a lot of people are just regular people who are consigning with them. So a lot of the cards really aren't, really in danger of trimming or any issue like that. So this first auction, you may have seen a bunch of griping about it online, especially from consigners, because a lot of the cards went well under comp prices. So I wish that I had honestly picked up more because not a single card that I bought, I think I bought at comps. I think I bought every single card under comps, and several of them as low as half price under comps. So it was really just a feast for collectors like me. So first card that I've got here, I've got 16 total, is a 1969 Topps Jackie Smith Hall of Fame tight end in a near mint 7. I was the only one who bid on this, got it for $10. So this card is actually pretty important. I would like to upgrade it to an 8 or a 9 or something at some point, but it's pretty important to me because it officially completes my 1969 Topps Football Hall of Fame set in a 7 or higher. I have the whole set now. And I think, 7th on the PSA registry for 1969 Topps Hall of Fame. So it feels really nice to finally have it finished and have the whole set in a 7 or higher. Next, I've got a 1960 Topps Sparky Anderson in a near mint 7. So this card I think I won for something like maybe $30, $29. It's hard to remember exactly what the price was. There were a whole bunch of cards in that range. And the reason why I bought this in a 7 and instead of, trying to find it in an 8 or something like that, because I would like an 8 of this card, is really just because I haven't been able to find a clean copy of the 1960 Anderson, and I've been looking for half a year. They just don't pop up for whatever reason. It's his second year card, one of only 2 playing days cards of his. He only has cards as a player in 1959 and 1960. And it was really just the only cheap card left from the set that I had yet to pick up of a Hall of Famer. So just wanted to grab it. Might as well, grab it while I can for a good price. Next, I've got the 1969 Topps Bill White. Not a Hall of Famer, and the only non-Hall of Fame card that I purchased. It was in a mint 9. I think I spent $31 on it, something like that. You can see absolutely gorgeous copy. Like I said, not a Hall of Famer, but this is his last card in the bigs. It is his final card with the Cardinals, obviously if it's his last card in the bigs, but he had left the Cardinals from I think 65 to 68 and then returned in 69 before retiring. He was an integral part of the 1964 championship team, though, and I think this is a really cool card because I think it's the very first card to show batting gloves. So pretty historic in a sense there. Next, I've got 1969 Topps Joe Gordon, an 8, Hall of Fame manager, just working on the set. 1969 Topps Dick Williams in an 8. Sorry, Joe Gordon was not a Hall of Fame manager. He was a Hall of Fame player, but this is him as a manager. Dick Williams did play, but he's a Hall of Fame manager, and this is just, working on the set. There were a lot of Hall of Fame managers in 69. Then 69 Topps Joe Torre in an 8. Went into the Hall of Fame as a manager, but certainly no slouch as a player, winning the 71 NL MVP with my St. Louis Cardinals. This is his first card on the Cardinals, as you see cards. But it was right after the trade, so they didn't have any photos of him in a St. Louis uniform yet, so they just kind of cropped him out, so you couldn't see the Braves jersey, but you could still see the dark blue, navy blue coloring here, and they just chose a picture where he wasn't wearing a hat. So not exactly the most iconic card, but still his first card with the Cardinals. Then I got the Orlando Cepeda in an 8. Same deal, not particularly good looking, but you work with a card that it itself is in really nice shape, but I mean, the image isn't, you know, fantastic, but, you know, you work with what you have. Then the red Shane Dienst in an 8 Hall of Fame manager. Hall of Fame player, but also won 2 titles as a manager and 1,200 wins. So, I mean, he was on the brink of a Hall of Fame career as a manager, too. This card is actually a little higher than some of these other ones. I think I spent about 50 on this one. The reasoning being, for whatever reason, if you look at the pop reports, there are just fewer high-grade copies of this card than there are of some of the other ones I've shown, like the Joe Gordon or Dick Williams or Orlando Cepeda. So they go for a little more when they do pop up. Then I've got the Juan Marshall in an 8. I think this was about 43 bucks. My first Juan Marshall card. Then I've got the high number for Jenkins in an 8. This one cost me, I think, 86 or something of the sort. It was one of the higher cards just because it is a high number. It's one of only a few high numbers, Hall of Fame high numbers in the set. I think the Raleigh Fingers rookie is a high number, and then the Ted Williams manager card is also a high number. So is the Bobby Bonds rookie, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, just kind of went hard after this one because it is a high number, so you don't see these things pop up very often. Then I already had a Brooks Robinson in a 7, but I decided to upgrade it and go for an 8. I think this one cost me about $105, which is actually right around comps. I think maybe $10 under what comps were at the time. So a very fair price, but I just thought it was a really nice looking copy. You can see how well centered it is. Then this is one of my biggest wins, the Harmon Killebrew in an 8. This card routinely goes for something like 120 to 130 bucks, and I snagged it for a measly 62. So this one was a huge win for under comps, and certainly one that I don't think that I would ever be able to find for that price ever again. Then another huge win, the Ernie Banks in an 8. You can see how old that flip is. This thing was graded a million years ago. But just an absolutely gorgeous card. I did already have one of these in a 4.5, so this was just like the Brooks Robinson, just me looking to upgrade it. These cards routinely go for something like 190, 200 bucks. I snagged this one for 115, so also significantly under comps. Still pricey, but way under what it would go for normally. What's kind of interesting is, I don't know how much truth there is to this, but I read it on the forums that the color on the back of the 69 issue, the more pink it is, means the earlier in the print run that it was. So this one you can see is pretty pink, so that means it was printed pretty early on. While if you look at some of the other ones, like the Harmon Killebrew, it's much more of a salmon orange color, which means it was a much later print run. I don't really know how true that is, but it's something that I have read at some point. And then Al Lopez, Hall of Famer, in a 9, Hall of Fame manager that is, although he did have a very nice playing career as well. Then the great Leo Durocher, Hall of Fame manager, probably most famous for being the manager of the Brooklyn Dodgers when Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. Unfortunately, this is him on the 69 Cubs, who collapsed on the end of the season, giving way for the Miracle Mets to win it all. So not exactly, the highlight time of his career as a manager, but absolutely beautiful card. And then the last one is a Walt Alston in a 9. This one was also a major win because another 9 went on eBay for I think 90 something bucks, like 92, 93 bucks about a month ago. And I was bidding on it and I just fell short. I was willing to pay just about that much, but somebody, just outbid me. So I was, thinking, okay, now's really my chance to grab the 9 because I missed the last one. And I snagged it for a measly 34 bucks. So, again, a huge win on that one. So that is it. All in all, 16 cards, one 1969 football card, one 1960 baseball card, and 14 1969 baseball cards, all in an 8 or above. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll hopefully have something else for you to watch soon. See ya.